Hey Clear Lake peeps, Ross England here, Clear Lake Guide Service with your Clear Lake report for December 5th, 2025. And I am currently, bear with me because the first part of this might get a little bit shaky and goofy. But remember I told you that they were going to be doing some work in Lucerne Harbor? Well, they're doing it. I don't know. Here's one sign that says they should be done by 11:22. I think they blew that, don't you? If they're still working, since it's 12:05, but they sure can't blame it on the weather because, as you can see here, this is getting to be the end of a really awesome winter week of weather. Bear with me while I get set up here and try to be able to do this so it looks halfway decent. There we go. That's a little better. So I'm just going to pan around here so you can see the harbor. Remember there was a big island out in the middle of it? It's pretty much gone. They've got the entrance boomed off, so any of you who've tried to use the harbor know that it's closed. So, looking pretty good. If you guys don't mind, I'm just going to stand off to the side here because I always hate me being the actual focus of these videos. So, okay. So there you go. Progress. Ought to be fun for you guys later this winter and certainly this next spring. So I apologize for the inconsistency in my reporting. We've had some issues we've been dealing with, and you guys and gals are always on my mind, but I hadn't been on the water. So got out on the water 2 days with my good buddy Jim this week, and I'm telling you right now, this week, next week looks to be about the same, although next week looks to be a little cooler temperature-wise. This is why we live here. I know the fishing and I know all of that, but you know, it's like a high of 68 today. It's dead flat, calm. It's just beautiful. And you know, I enjoyed two really good weather days the last 2 days out with Jim. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the fishing, but I'll get into the conditions that I saw and can report on right now. So those of you that just want to see that in Dodge, you can do it. So lake level is at 3.3, and overall it's up about 1.5 feet over the last 2 weeks, you know, 2.5 weeks since that big series of storms came through. It's pretty much leveled off and is just doing nothing, just waiting for the next storm. So the creeks have water in them, but they're not running really very strong at all. But you know, a good storm will get them cooking again. Water temp, surprisingly, everywhere that we were, which is basically mid-lake down to as far as about 2/3 of the way down to Rattlesnake Island, we've seen a low 50 degrees to a high of about 52. Predominantly, most of what we saw over the previous 2 days was about 51 degrees. I checked in with Ed Legan because I haven't been down below Rattlesnake Island and he got back to me and told me that the water temperature down there is about 51 degrees. So it's fairly consistent around. The water color, water condition actually looks pretty good. It's multiple colors depending on where you are. It's anywhere from a light brown to kind of clear, or as I've said in the past, clearish. But the bottom line is, I wasn't anywhere where I saw any deeper than 3 feet. Doesn't mean it's not out there, but that's what I saw, was 3 feet. And the average was about 1.5 feet of clarity. So there you got water temperature, you got water clarity, you got lake level. Upcoming activity, there's an ABA Saturday that people are expecting some ginormous weights. There have been some big fish caught over the past week, and like Clear Lake size big fish. I didn't catch them. The fish that I caught, the best fish we managed were between 5 and 6. Don't get me wrong, those are nice fish, but we're talking about 8-pound plus fish and some big limits. It'll be interesting to see how Saturday goes, because I kind of suspect that everybody's fishing on top of each other, on top of rock piles, and sometimes just all that activity combined with crappie boats can make it kind of a tough deal and not necessarily the best conditions. What you might be able to put in the bag on Wednesday may not be the same thing you could put on a tournament day on Saturday, but we'll see. I'm sure there'll be some good bags weighed. Speaking of crappie, I've had a number of people ask about it, and yes, there are people down catching crappie, down around Rattlesnake. The other areas that we typically see a lot of wintertime crappie fishing, haven't seen a whole lot of it. There's a few, don't get me wrong, but it's just, there doesn't seem to be a crowd other than down there. So let's see. Well, the other fish is catfish, and right now we've almost caught as many catfish as we did bass over the last 2 days. So our fishing, we struck out on more spots than we did well on, and I think that's part of the story. If you're in an area, if you find fish, you can get some of them to bite. Our experience is, and it's kind of typical of this time of year, we spent a lot of time scratching and hunting and driving and fishing and casting, and we really didn't start catching any fish until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So from about 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock when we quit is when we caught our fish. That's not unusual for this time of year. You'd like to say it's because the water gets warmer, but the water temperature didn't change. So there's other factors in play. But at any rate, we caught our fish on underspins, a little Ned rig, and that was about it for the last 2 days. But again, like I said, we have a very small sampling of fish caught to share with you. So other than that, it's just a beautiful day out here. Look for it to be a beautiful week. Next week the weather changes a little bit and gets still supposed to be sunny, partly cloudy, but it's also supposed to get a little cooler to where the afternoon highs are going to dip down into the 50s. So that's still pretty nice. I'll tell you, the temperature it is right now, it's like if you're sitting still, you can get warm. Jim was complaining he didn't bring shorts the other day, but then as soon as you go to move, you get toasty. So there we go. That's your report. Don't know when the next report will get out. Hopefully I'll get out at least one day next week. If I don't, Merry Christmas to you all. Thanks for watching. Those of you who've sent me notes, just checking in on me because I haven't been on here, I appreciate it more than you know. And thank you very much for that. I keep doing my best, still hanging around. And I think that's probably about it. So I want to thank Bob Tyler for doing a great job of keeping up with weekly reports and a lot of information flowing out so that you folks are getting it from somebody. And if you're looking for a guide right now, the number one guy in my opinion would be John Pearl. That kid just has a knack for catching big fish, and we've already seen him, posting with some big fish this week, the week before that, some of them with clients. He is, I don't know, he's just on another level most of the time. He works hard at it, and that's one of the reasons. He doesn't just slough it off. Zach Ploger is another guy who's been out here recently, and I think he's caught some good fish. So, and I don't want to leave out people. If I've left, there's a number of guides that are available up here, don't get me wrong, but those two are probably better chances of, if you are committed to try to fish for a big fish, one of those two guys is probably the guy. If you want to fish for crappie, Ed Legan is the guy. He's already booking trips. So you can contact me and I'll try to get you phone numbers for him. I don't have a phone number for Zach, but any of the bait shops around town should have them. So good luck to you. Hope you stay healthy, and we'll see you the next time we see you.